Usually the only way you're going to get cash back is with a credit card. And Dave Ramsey says that
credit cards are evil.
This is because most people aren't likely to be disciplined enough to pay back the monthly repayments on time. And they also go out and buy holidays and stupid material stuff with their money. But if you're smart and disciplined with credit cards and pay off your monthly bill on time, you can get a lot of free money. But if you can't trust yourself with a credit card, Chase Bank has now released a 1% cashback debit card here in the UK. And I've managed to get myself one of the first ones that released this week. So here's my first look review on Chase Bank UK. Chase Bank is a very famous bank in the US, and it's run by one of the biggest banks in the world, JPMorgan. I consider JPMorgan to be one of the safest investment banks in the world. And for that reason alone, I invest 4% of my entire investment portfolio into JPMorgan. And this week, Chase Bank finally opened up in the UK. They've been talking about it for quite a few months now, but it's finally here. And because I was watching this really closely, I was able to get in there for a very early account. Full disclosure, it's really cold in here, so I'm wearing this massive snow hoodie to keep me warm. But also, this isn't sponsored by JPMorgan at all. I just think this bank account could be really interesting for the UK market. On first impressions, it's very similar to the Monzo or the Starling type accounts, very app only, but with a few little twists, which are making me think about transferring completely. The first thing which caught my eye is they're trying to take security a little bit more seriously. They've got these new cards with absolutely no numbers or names on them whatsoever. You basically get to put your own nickname there as well. The details of the card are kept on the app. So if you want to buy something online, you just go to see details and type in all of the numbers from your phone. For me, this is great because I don't use my wallet anymore. I haven't carried cash for years, and I don't even carry plastic very often either. This card's fun and everything with no numbers and stuff, but I use my phone to tap for pretty much everything. Next, I love how they're building this app like Monzo. You can create as many accounts as you want very quickly for anything that you might want to be saving up for. Currently, for my family's budget, we use Monzo pots. We make lots of different little pots and we put different amounts of money in them every single month, and that tells us how much we need to spend. In Chase, it's very simple to do something very similar, but it's not quite as user-friendly as Monzo has got it right now. And lastly, and probably most importantly, Chase Bank are paying you to set up and spend with them. This is something I've personally never seen before from a debit card, but when you sign up to Chase Bank and you start spending, they'll give you 1% cash back on everything you pay for with your card. They can do this because JPMorgan has extremely deep pockets. It looks like JPMorgan are trying to get into the UK banking system by having Chase Bank act as a bit of a loss leader to really get into that new fintech space and take some of the big customers away from Monzo and Starling, the two new banks that have really been pushing the envelope recently. It's worth noting that this cashback does have an expiry date of 1 year for now, but in this climate where you're making nothing in savings, I can see a real advantage of having a 1% cashback debit card right now. And as you'd expect, it's pretty easy to sign up. First, you've got to go to the website and sign up to the waiting list. I don't think that waiting list is very long though, because that took me about a day to get my first email saying I was accepted. Then they send you this one-time code, and everything then is done through the Chase app. You do a bit of a weird ID check, which I've never seen before, where they take a photo of your driving license, then they take a photo of your face, and they match up the pictures together. God knows how they're doing that. The wonders of technology. It did take a couple of attempts to get validated. My driving license picture is about 10 years old, so it doesn't match this mug, which has been through 2 kids and 5 jobs since then. Once it's validated, you're pretty much set up and ready to go, and your weird bit of plastic comes through the door in about 5 days. So the advantages of Chase Bank seem really good to me. Easy to sign up, all in an app, and it has a few new little innovations which make it a lot easier and a lot more secure to bank with Chase Bank. But the system in its current form does have a few downsides. For instance, the app is very basic. My hope is that they make it a lot more user-friendly, a lot more Monzo-esque. Me and the missus run our home budget from our Monzo joint bank account. At the moment, I can't see any way to make a joint Chase account. And if I'm honest, that's a massive deal breaker. We won't be moving over our normal accounts to Chase Bank anytime soon, simply because we don't have the option for that joint account. And I'll likely continue using my Vitality Amex to buy my shopping and things like that. But that 1% cashback is too important to pass up. So if I want to make myself a little bit of maybe passive-esque income through Chase Bank, my personal money, I give myself about £30 a month in personal spending money. That will probably now go into the Chase Bank account, and any seedy little buys each week that I want to buy for myself and don't want anybody else to know, I'll keep on the Chase bank account. I think because of my family's budgeting, we have quite complex needs and a little bit too complex for the Chase bank account. But if you've got very simple needs, maybe it's just you and you don't need a credit card or don't want a credit card, then this current account might be one for you to consider. And I couldn't do a video without talking about any type of stock. So here's a quick stock analysis on JPMorgan Chase in fast graphs. Now JPMorgan is one of the biggest banks in the world. It's also one of the most profitable and did extremely well through the COVID recession. Since 2008, it's become law in the US for all banks to keep a lot of cash in reserves. JPMorgan is one of the best banks at doing this, passing its stress test with flying colours. And because they've held on to these extra reserves of cash, they're now free to start buying back shares and paying extra dividends. This will be a very nice reward for shareholders who stuck with JPMorgan all the way through 2020. From a very simple earnings point of view, JPMorgan does look like it's got a little bit of upside, suggesting 10% annual return year on year. But financial companies are slightly more complicated to value. Banks like JPMorgan make a lot of their money on debt, so their earnings are actually their debts and their debts are actually their earnings. One very simple way of looking at JPMorgan would be to look at their historical price to book value. And on average, their historical price to book value has been about 1.4, 1.5. Currently, JPMorgan's price to book value is set at 1.95, and the lowest was around 1 during 2020. So based on this statistic alone, JPMorgan could be a little bit overvalued at this time, and it's why I'm not really buying too much of it right now. However, overall right now, JPMorgan doesn't seem to be a bad bet. There are definitely worse places you could put your money right now. And with a very loose forecast here based on a lot of analyst projections, it does look like JPMorgan could get you around 8% a year. However, I'd love for a little bit more of a margin of safety. It's got a good dividend of about 2%. And of course, that 30 billion of share buybacks is coming as well. But I would still say I'd love to see JPMorgan back down to 140, maybe even $130 per share before I really put in some serious money. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Has anybody else got the new Chase Bank card? Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. And of course, this video is not sponsored by Chase Bank at all. So go fuck yourself if you think that's what... I shouldn't really say that shit. Thank you very much for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, subscribe, and invest.